My name is John Helmrich. I'm the current chapter president here at Sigma Alpha Epsilon at the University of Evansville.
My name is Shiva Rodriguez, and I am an SAE alum. I was a part of the SAE Indiana Epsilon chapter for 3 years.
My name is Reed McIntyre. I know Chemo Buddies through Sigma Alpha Epsilon over at the University of Evansville. I was a member there from 2017 to 2021.
And our local philanthropy is Chemo Buddies, and I have the privilege of working with Jill Kincaid, the CEO of Chemo Buddies.
Both organizations share a lot of friendship and love, and that sounds kind of cheesy, but in reality, like going to college, joining a fraternity, you basically join like a family.
Chemo Buddies really has an emphasis on the care of chemotherapy patients, and I think our mission statement aligns with that really well in terms of being philanthropic and being good volunteers and good citizens.
It added the word inclusivity into it. I think both groups definitely draw from that word inclusivity.
And I think that both of these mission statements kind of play into that because you deal with a lot of different backgrounds and stuff like that when you're working with chemotherapy patients.
Both organizations exemplify friendship and the qualities of a good relationship.
In terms of Chemo Buddies, they're a one-of-a-kind organization, and they're so unique that I haven't really heard anything about something like that happening anywhere else, and I think that their goal and their mindset is so special.
So the Chemo Buddies story goes that their founder, Jill Kincaid, her sister, she had cancer and she was getting treated for chemo, and it was a grueling experience. And Jill's sister said, hey, I want you to not just be my buddy while I'm in here, I want you to be everybody's buddy.
When COVID hit, our chapter suffered greatly in terms of philanthropy. Fall Fest didn't happen that year, and then we had to reimagine our spring philanthropy to try and help raise money for Chemo Buddies because they had gone a full year without us donating to them. And we came up with a really good idea, in my opinion, and it was Patty Murphy Madness. It was right during March Madness for college basketball, and we shot hoops outside, and people would pledge 5-10 cents per shot made.
From the back lot of Indiana Epsilon chapter, Sigma Alpha Epsilon in Evansville, Indiana, I'm Reed McIntyre alongside my host, Dallas Koth, and welcome to the inaugural Patty Murphy Madness.
Ended up raising $5,000 for Chemo Buddies, which was really amazing for an all-virtual event.
The amount of brothers that showed up and the amount of donations we got, it was just such a great feeling to know that we had a community that supported us, and not only supported us, but supported Chemo Buddies in their mission. Feeling proud is probably the biggest emotion that I can connect with Chemo Buddies and SAE. Yeah.
It's a very rewarding experience, emphasis on that. Whenever we do get to cut a check from our earnings, both in the fall and the spring, and give it to Jill.
When thinking about our volunteer hours and doing different events and stuff like that for Chemo Buddies, the first thing that I remember is my freshman year going to the Hope Fest 5K, which was the first ever 5K that Chemo Buddies put on. And I remember volunteering early in the morning to help them set up for that event and cheering on other racers and stuff, and then running the 5K myself. And it was just an all-around really good time. It helped raise a lot of money for Chemo Buddies, which was the important part of it. It was a great way to be involved with both my organization and Chemo Buddies at the same time.
So one thing that not a lot of people know about, 2 years ago, my dad was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and it was a terminal illness. And I came home for winter break, and it was like the first winter break after we found out about his diagnosis. And one of my brothers at SAE actually worked together with Chemo Buddies, and I was surprised because they sent my dad a care package. I just wasn't expecting it, and it was one of those things where I was like, wow, that's like, I have such a great organization that supports me and supports my dad. And it was an awesome feeling just knowing that. And I had no idea. It was just like a surprise. I came home and Mom's like, hey, look at this package. And I was like, huh? I was like, who sent it? They're like, she's like, SAE. And I was like, I don't remember sending a package to my family, right? And then we look in it and it was like Chemo Buddies, and they sent a nice letter with a get well soon card and a bunch of, it was just a great memory for me. As I said before, pride, like that, I felt a huge amount of pride for the organization that I was in, as well as for the organization we worked with, Chemo Buddies.
Jill, Chemo Buddies CEO, has always been there for our chapter and our members whose loved one has gone through chemotherapy. And that really speaks a lot to her character and the character of Chemo Buddies, because yeah, we do a lot for them, but they do a lot for us when we need them to.